So you're not seeing the bucks that you want to see leading up to the deer season on camera. Don't get me wrong, I definitely would prefer to get off-season pictures of shooter bucks. That's definitely ideal and a major confidence booster to know which bucks you're after. But for one reason or another, some areas just don't produce that sort of preseason intel. One of my very best buck hunting spots has got exactly 0 pictures of bucks during the off season. And that's after 10 years of running cameras on bedding areas, bait piles, and trails. In my case, I think the large population of does drives the bucks out during the summer seasons. While the does are fawning, bucks get to their bachelor groups, and they just don't cohabitate very well. So I think all the bucks just stay away and all the does pressure them out because there's adequate resources for everyone. There's water, there's food, and there's pretty much 0 human pressure. But all this brings me to the point of this video. Not seeing bucks during the preseason on your cameras is not always a bad thing. So what makes this area that I hunt, where I get no preseason pictures of bucks, such a good area during the season? Well, I'm going to talk about that. But before I get too far into this, I want to make it clear that every situation is different. It may be that your area just has a very low density, a very low population of deer, and the volume just isn't there to produce mature bucks or to have the probability of encountering one. Where I'm at, it's a very healthy herd. I've got a lot of options. There's a ton of deer, and it's just a very well-established herd. So keep that in mind while listening. Anyways, we'll continue on. Now, it's taken me many years to nail down exactly why I only see bucks in this specific area during hunting season, but it's simple. It's a rut cruising area. It took me so long to figure that out because there's so many does there year round, it muddied the water for me. Everywhere else I have set a camera and there's does around, I at least see the occasional buck show up. But in this spot, that's not the case. Like I said earlier, I think that does are the reason that the bucks aren't there in the summertime. I think they displace them. And this very well may be the issue where you're at as well. There was a time when I wouldn't have even given this place a chance because of the lack of buck sightings during the preseason scouting. But there are a few things about this spot that I want to point out that make it so prime for getting onto mature bucks pretty consistently. And that first point is that I have bulletproof access into this area. That took me a long time to figure out, but I have ways of getting into there now without ever being detected by deer. Now, on occasion, the deer will wander for some reason into my access point, and they will pick up some ground scent and get spooked. Any hunter that tells you that never happens is probably lying. On occasion, it's going to happen to everybody. But the vast majority of the time, I can get in there without ever being detected, and it's as though I've never been there. The second point is that there's a large doe herd, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second, but that's a big factor. Third is that there's water nearby and great bedding. There's a lot of shade, cedar cover, and that's extremely important for my area. I think one of the lowest holes in the barrel is water. I'm in the arid area of the country, and water is extremely important, and having year-round access to that is critical. So keep that in mind for your area. What is the lowest hole in the barrel for your environment? What is it that the deer need the most? Do they need cover? Do they need food? Do they need water? What is it that they're needing most? Third thing about this area is that there's a lot of funnels. There's a lot of tight points that the deer are going to utilize to move from place to place. And that makes it easy for me to set up within close proximity to those spots and have a good wind, have good opportunities at getting within bow range of them. Now, why do I encounter mature bucks on a somewhat regular basis in this area? Well, going back to that doe herd, there's about 15 does in this approximately 40-acre area that I can hunt on, and that is a strong magnet for bucks during the rut. There's a lot of them in there where plenty of bucks can come through. There's a lot of scent, a lot of opportunity and potential for one of them to be in estrus and to be receptive. So those does are a huge, huge factor in this. While I think that they're the reason that I don't ever see bucks during the off-season in that area, I think that they're the #1 reason why I see so many mature bucks coming through during the bow season. And the other reason why I attribute this area to being such a strong magnet for mature bucks during the hunting season is that there's no human pressure at all. All the bucks are getting pushed off of other areas. This is a piece of public that I'm on, and they're getting pushed off of other private land and public land into this small area. It's a really obscure spot and very hard to get to. And those bucks have found safety there because I don't go in there all the time blowing them out. I bring in a little bit of bait on occasion, which is on another video of mine you can watch, but I bring in a little bit of bait on occasion just to keep their flow of motion moving in front of my hunting locations. But that's it. That's the only little bit of human scent or human pressure they might get. And so yeah, if you have any or all of these attributes, go down the list. Just think about the different things that are going on where you're hunting or where you're trying to scout. If you're not seeing any bucks on the camera, well, consider how many does are there. Are they going to be drawing in bucks during the rut? Is there any human pressure? Where's the pressure at? Is the pressure going to be pushing in towards where you're at, or is there too much pressure in that area that you're going into and that's the reason there's no bucks to begin with? Consider these factors. Think of your environment. Is there a resource in that area that you're hunting that's going to make it sustainable for them to stay there during the entire rut season? If you have any of these attributes, I just don't think that you have a whole lot of reason to worry so much during the preseason, unless it's just a bad herd that you're dealing with, in which case you're going to have to just lower your standards a little bit and maybe wait a few years. And yeah, from my experience with this little property, that if I had been trusting the cameras, if I'd been listening to them and just saying, oh, yeah, there's no bucks in there, yeah, it's October 1st, opening day, and I hadn't seen a single buck, and just given up and gone somewhere else, well, I would have missed out on a lot of opportunities in the past. And yeah, just don't let it deceive you. Don't let the cameras do all the work for you. Go out and hunt it anyways. You never know what might be going on. Cameras are like looking through a soda straw in the woods anyways. There's all kinds of things that you could be missing. So I don't suggest using that intel to guide your hunt 100%. So yeah, hopefully this is a little bit of encouragement for you. If you're not seeing any bucks on your trail cameras right now in the summertime, just don't let it discourage you from hunting that area. You got does there, that's your primary attractant. I've said that in videos before. I can't stress it enough. The more does you have in a tighter area, the more of a magnet that's going to be for bucks later on in the season. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention earlier that I only really hunt that area during or after a cold front or some kind of significant weather event, if it's been raining a bunch or something like that. I don't really get out and hunt it just on random days. Hunting after significant weather events is crucial for seeing mature bucks, especially in daylight. Like I said, I only hunt it maybe 5 or 6 times a year. You know, if I get desperate later on, I may hit it a couple more times, but yeah, waiting for those cold fronts, that's critical. Get out there whenever it's cold. Here in the south, it drops 20 degrees and those deer are going to be moving. So that's a huge factor in the way I go and hunt that area. So anyways, I hope this helps you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'm gonna sling some arrows into this target. Thanks for watching.